Aloha friends coming in. Nina Healthy Kitchen in the house. Aloha, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Or whatever it is where you are. The Mo Grower Seeds or Sadie's Seeds. I'm not sure how to say your name. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Aloha. Greetings. Tina in the house. Aloha, my love. Good morning. Good noontime to you. Belinda in the house. I realized, Belinda, that it was you, like your handle. A lot of the time, like, I'll know friends' names on email or in real life or something, and like not know that it's you on your handle because it's something a little different. But I love when I figure it out and I'm like, oh yeah, I know who you are now. Welcome everyone. Aloha. Today is day 14 of the 40 days of Reiki, and my intention with the 40 days of Reiki is to educate, inform, inspire, and intrigue you about Reiki as a tool for healing in mind, body, soul, and spirit, as well as a tool for and a path of spiritual awakening. So Reiki can be all of these things and so much more even. It's a completely personal practice, and it really depends on what your intention is with the Reiki, how it'll manifest magic in your life, magic and healing. You know, if you're like, I don't want magic, I'm like scientific. You won't get magic then, you know, you'll just get the relaxation or whatever it is you want. So I'm coming to you live on Instagram every single day to the best of my ability when travel and, you know, logistics allow, but pretty much every day. That's the plan throughout the season of Lent, when Jesus was doing his thing way back in the day. And this is a very, very sacred time of year every single year that comes back around, and I'm delighted to honor Jesus and honor this sacred time in this way with you all. So these lives will continue through Easter, April 3rd, I believe it is. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. All the replays, where do you get the replay if you tune in late? My IGTV at Joyful Raw Life, my YouTube channel, Taylor A. Norris. They are all there. Some announcements before we dive in. Hello, all the friends coming in. I see Rupesh Shah is here, Miss Butter Baby's here, Keto Vegan Power is here. Right on, right on. I know a lot of keto people, they not vegan, so appreciate, respect. Jammer Jules in the house. Right on. Welcome everyone. Did my tripod set up a little different today, and it's like, what's going on? Where am I? Every day, you know, it's different. So a couple announcements. I am doing a free video mini course, The Best Kept Secrets of Radiant Health and Spiritual Awakening. And you can sign up for that if you're vibing me and you want to know how to create some pristine, holistic health and get some insider intel I'm not sharing anywhere else on the flower of healing for earth angels. If you're intrigued and like, what is that? Definitely sign up and you will get a video lesson from me every week, Thursday. Next, I'm offering a Reiki 1 and 2 training. So if you're like, I kind of, you know, I want to do this, I want to learn this. That will be happening in May. You can sign up and join the wait list. Both of those links are in my bio or in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. So my Reiki 1 and 2, that's appropriate if you're a complete Reiki beginner, you don't even know what Reiki means, like you've never taken a Reiki class before, you've never had a Reiki session before. Come on with us. Come on, join us. You're welcome. It's also appropriate if you've taken a Reiki 1 to master ART, any kind of Reiki, any kind of lineage, you're welcome also. So Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome, whether you can, be in person or not, it's going to be online. So, like, let's say you're confined to a chair or the bed or whatever, you're not in good health. Guess what? If you got an internet connection, a phone, a tablet, or a laptop, you're good to go. And that love in your heart, that intention, that's all that's needed. So, with all of that said, we will get into our Reiki Invocation. And as many of you know who have joined me before, this is a guided meditation, brief one, that evokes the Reiki energy. So, you will be receiving some Reiki energy if you are open to it. If you're not open to it, it won't come to you. So, it's your choice. You have free will. Reiki honors free will. So, at this time, I ask you to close your eyes and take a couple long, slow, deep breaths, turning your awareness inward, letting go of what you were doing before this, and dropping into your body, dropping into your heart, dropping into the present moment. And you can place your hands comfortably on your body. The light of Reiki fills the air that you breathe. Your breath fills your body with the light. As you breathe in the light within you wakes up. The light within you is revealed. The power of divine love fills your breath and is revealed at the core of your being. The power of the divine mind fills your breath and is revealed at the core of your consciousness. The power of the divine heart fills your breath and is revealed in the light of your heart. The power of the divine earth fills your breath and is revealed in your body. The power of God fills your breath and the power of God is revealed in you. The power of your Holy Spirit is revealed within you. Look inside and say thank you to you. Appreciate you and how deeply you love. Together we say thank you to the divine ones who join us. We invite your divine guidance, healing, and empowerment. Aho, amen, namaste, and so it is. Thank you. As a child of God, I claim my power and purpose as a servant of God. I demand that all darkness leave me and all who are watching immediately. I ask that Archangel Michael place me and all who are watching in his blue bubble of protection against all darkness. Wah, 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 wah. I don't know why that's coming through. I'm gonna grab my crystals. How y'all feeling? Mom's in the house. I was just thinking of you, Mom. I was like, I didn't see you join. I know I didn't text you. I was about to go live. So glad you made it. Glad you found me. I changed the time around today. We're a little earlier because I have a busy afternoon. Seeing some one-on-one clients for the holistic health Reiki combo and like straight holistic health sessions. So as always, my Reiki curious friends, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat now so I can go into it, and at any time throughout this live stream. So please drop your questions in the chat. I would love to answer them. I can also talk about other things, but I'm definitely welcoming you to question or comment, and let's make this interactive, I'm not going to share the live stream, but if you want to ask your question in the chat, growing organic greens, that you're totally welcome to. Oh. Got some tea. Nice and grounding, cozy and warming. Staying grounded as a super spiritual person. It's a struggle, right? You pair that with a raw vegan diet and it's like staying in the body. That's where your power is, staying in your body. Speaking of bodies, since I'm not seeing any questions, but if y'all have questions or comments, you're welcome to drop them. Something that came up that just happened recently that I thought I could talk about is my cat and animal Reiki. So, Reiki is an energy, it's spiritually guided life force energy. And Reiki is also a system of tools and techniques to facilitate and utilize the Reiki energy for healing, mind, body, soul, and spirit, as I said, and as a spiritual path and spiritual awakening if you choose to go there. And it is an energy that can be used to communicate with animals, to connect with animals, to connect with plants, to help plants grow, to hear the voices of the plants, to connect with the spirit of the jungle, the trees, the forest, the mountains, etc. The crystals, the crystals. They're like, don't forget about me. How can I, guys and gals? So animal Reiki is a whole discipline within Reiki. And there are animal Reiki courses. I've not taken one because frankly, like, I didn't need to. I got Reiki 1 and 2 and it was like, I knew how to do it to connect with animals. I've always been naturally like a animal communicator, hanging out with animals, spending lots of time with animals, only child. Like, my first word was Zeus. It was my dog's name. Like, we were already talking before I could talk. You know, it's like a little newborn infant. So, yeah, I've always been really connected to animals. And as soon as I did my Reiki 1 in training, I was using Reiki to work with horses and to work with my mom's dogs and, you know, any other animals I encountered. And last night, so my cat Naga, she's a jungle cat, okay? Like, she's not some cat that I bought or adopted or anything. My friend who lives in the main house on the property where I stayed, he saw her run across the road when he was in South Point in the Big Island of Hawaii. South Point is like a really trippy vortex place, by the way. It's the southernmost point in the United States, and it's like a Bermuda Triangle type energy. And this cat is like totally, she's like from another planet in a cat's body. She tells me she's Nefertiti, actually, is what she keeps telling me. I'm like, okay. So she was a little kitten and she ran across the road, and my friend Austin, who lives in the main house here, he jumped out of his car because he's just a nice guy like this. He's an animal rescuer, and he like chases after her, and he chases after her through the jungle and captures her because he's probably in tune with this kind of stuff too, and he doesn't, you know, maybe not consciously aware of it yet, but he was getting the message, like, to go get her, and like that she looked like a nice little kitten, and like she was real skinny, and, you know, little kitten, little helpless kitten. So he goes, catches her in the jungle, brings her back home, and he gives her to the dude who was living in my place now, the Ohana, who was renting here before I came. And so this guy was taking care of her for a little while, and when I moved in last July, she was just still a little kitten, and, you know, she was immediately very friendly to me, and the landlord here was like, okay, so there's a cat who lives here, like, if you could feed her, that would be good. And so I have, and, you know, at first I was kind of like, well, this is a pain in the ass, and like now I'm like, she's my soul kitty, like, she's my child. I love her so much, and I take really good care of her. And I've shared with y'all like how she's a Reiki master teacher, and she gives me downloads. She has facilitated a lot of healing and a lot of awareness and a lot of shadow work for me in the past months. And you know, I'm really tuned into her too, so like I'm like dialing in her diet. I know what she needs. We're very, very reciprocal relationship we got. And lately I saw that she ate a lizard, okay? Like one morning she came in And it was before I fed her, and her belly was real big. And I was like, did the neighbor feed her? You know, what happened? She wears a collar mostly just so that people don't think she's a stray cat, because there's a lot of stray cats around here. And I don't want her to get like taken in by the people who, you know, to the Humane Society or something. So I do put a collar on her, and it's cute. It's a breakaway collar, it has a little jingle bell. And so she came around, and her belly was real big before I fed her, and I was like, that's weird. Okay, maybe it was a neighbor. And then later that day I saw her in the yard. It's very common for her. She has a very high prey drive like many cats, and she's indoor, outdoor. And she was like playing with this lizard that, you know, she had injured playing, like it was barely alive. And then I saw her eat it. Oh, it was very gross. And but I watched with like I was like disgusted, but also like, you know, she is a cat. She does, you know, maybe it is like better if she's killing prey to like eat it. You know, I was just kind of holding space for it. And then I did some research, of course, and learned that eating lizards not the best thing for your cat, because often the lizards will have things in their skin that excrete, you know, like poison or toxins that then are really tough for the cats to digest. So I'm like, oh great, I just watched her eat this toxic thing. I could have stopped it, but I didn't. And, you know, after that, her belly just kind of got even bigger, and she was still eating the food I was putting out, though her appetite had decreased. And then over the next 24 hours, you know, she was sleeping more. She was acting weird. She was acting more like a cat, you know, just like a dense kind of cat, not like an enlightened cat, which I can tell the difference. She's really friendly. She's really aware. She's got a high vibe. And I noticed her vibe came down more to where she seemed ill, she seemed off, she seemed more kind of like a stoner cat or something, where like she's not like the high functioning of her usual days and her usual vibration. So I was like, okay, thinking I could take her. This actually, it clicked in my head that this is what happened last time too. I thought she was pregnant several months back, and her belly got really big for no reason. And she is a unspayed female cat. So theoretically, I thought she was pregnant then, but this is what happened. She had been eating lizards, and I think her belly was bloating out. And back when that happened initially, she just got so constipated, she stopped pooping, and I took her to the vet, and they x-rayed her, and like she was really backed up, and she had to have an enema. And ever since then, she was fine. She passed everything. I've been dialing in her diet, like she's good. Except recently, she started eating the lizards again. I was like, I don't want to take her to the vet and like have them do an enema on her, because I don't know if they do anesthesia or what. I would give her an enema, but I feel like that would be a really good way to get some serious, you know, scratches. See, I'm not completely, you know, animal whisperer here, okay? Like, all right, I'm still working on it, but anyway, she had stopped eliminating, and, you know, I could tell she was really sick, and she wasn't, you know, as affectionate and stuff as usual. So last night I was just petting her, and I brought her inside, and she laid like right on my chest, like on my throat, like really, and was purring, and I was petting her and connecting, and she was like giving me energy and like intel, and I was like, what do you need, sweetheart? And she was like, well, give me Reiki. And I gave her a bunch of Reiki, and you know, just worked on her for a while. And as I was working on her, she basically, I got this idea, you know, a download of what to do, because as I've been sharing Reiki energy, it's like there's stuff you're doing on the energetic level, like the energy healing that's going on, but as I receive downloads, I'll receive practical life actions to take in order. It's like instructions from the Reiki, It's not just, oh, you do the healing and then that's it. Sometimes that is it, but other times it's like, okay, you do the energy healing and then there are things to do. There's additional things to do. So I got the download. Yes, I'm doing animal Reiki for friends who are just joining us. Last night I was doing Reiki on my cat and she was telling me what she needed in addition to the energy healing. And what she asked for, she or her guides or my guides, the message I got, I'm not sure who it came from, but it was like for Naga's highest good. It might have been the voice of like Reiki itself. Could have been Jesus. I don't know. They said, cook some pumpkin, mash it up, cut up raw pumpkin really small, which I had in my fridge, just the right little portion. It was so funny. It was like not enough for me to make my own raw vegan soup with it, but just enough for this. I cut it up really tiny. I do have a pot in here from like my landlord's pot and pan, and I used that and I steamed this pumpkin really, really soft, and I used like a potato masher and mashed it up. And as it was all cooking, I got the instructions like sing, and pray. Sing and pray. So I was just singing and praying and activating Reiki as all of this was cooking. And then I mashed it all up and singing and praying and put it in her bowl. And the other instruction I got was oil, give her oil. The only oil I have here is sweet almond oil, which I was using for my skin. I'm not using it currently. It's been sitting around the past several months. And I wanted to check and make sure that almond was okay for cats. Turns out bitter almonds are not, but sweet almonds are safe for cats. So I was like, perfect, the sweet almond oil is safe for her. I added the sweet almond oil to the mashed pumpkin, and and she's like on the ground. She's like, girl, I know we're about to have like a meal. Like, I am stoked right now. She perked right up. And so as I'm combining the oil and the mashed pumpkin, I'm singing, I'm praying, I'm activating Reiki, I'm putting lots of good energy in. Hey, Richard, thanks for joining. We're talking about animal Reiki and how last night I got the download from my cat what she needed for healing, because she's been eating lizards which are toxic. Awesome. Yeah, species-specific diet gone bad. Yeah, there are sweet and bitter almonds. Apparently, pretty much all the ones in the store are sweet. So, there's like a rumor online that almonds are toxic to cats, but really it's just the bitter ones. And I'm not sure that the bitter ones are really even available to buy. So, yeah, I mixed up her bowl, prayed, Reiki'd it really hardcore, put it on the ground for her, and she went to town. She was like, Mom, this is phenomenal. Why aren't we doing this all the time? And I'm like, girl, it's a vegan meal. Like, you a kitty. Like, I'm trying to feed her species specific diet. So she ate that right on up. She didn't finish it. She ate about half of it. She was licking that oil. She loved it. And then, so it was bedtime. I did my meditation. She did the meditation with me. She's always laying on me during the meditation. So she's meditating too, is how I see things. And yeah, so woke up this morning, and guess what, guys? She's unconstipated. She had gone to the bathroom in her litter box a couple times, a few number 2s, and I was like, girl, that's what's up. Because during my Reiki work on her, I was evoking Ekajati, which I have on call. She is a Tibetan Buddhist deity, and she is this fierce goddess, one-eyed, like she lost her eye. She's wrathful energy. She's wrathful feminine energy, super powerful, super potent. She's like in there with her sword. I mean, she is she's the real freaking deal. And the Tibetan Buddhists will like visualize her and like pray to her and like merge consciousness with her. And I never got to that level of Tantra like that. But I did do some chanting, and I was connecting with her back when I was at the Monastery Meditation Center a few years back. And she's like, yeah, I love working with Reiki. So Ekajati, I know she's one of my specialist guides on call. And she came in and she did, I was like, La Purga, we need La Purga for Naga. And La Purga, if some of you are familiar with like plant medicine and stuff, this is the purge, the purgative. I needed Naga's body to be purged. And that came through. And who does La Purga? Well, these are like the plant medicines in the jungle. They will do La Purga. They facilitate that, the plant spirits. So, yeah. And she went to the bathroom and she ate, let's see, her bowl. Yeah, she's got a little bit of that left still. I'll keep, letting her work on that. I may add some additional food to it so she'll keep staying interested in it. But I know her purge is not complete. So I'll keep supporting that on my end. And she's looking a lot better today. She's more herself. When you look, like any of y'all have kids or work with children, or even just, y'all are probably like more intuitive folk anyway. If you're coming around hanging out with me, you can tell someone's sick when you look in their eyes. And like for people, but also for animals, you look an animal in the eye, you can tell they're sick. Her eyes looked bad. Now they're looking better. They're looking more like, I see her soul like staring back at me, and I'm like, all right, we on the right track. But yeah, so cats, can they be vegan or not? They probably could be, but I'm not going to do that. They're carnivores. Look at their teeth, okay? It's like a little mini tiger jaguar, basically. Carnivore. She's like tearing into the lizard, ripping into the lizard, eating the lizard. You watch a cat with a mouse or a snake or anything else, like they're ripping in, they're tearing in. So my guides and my intel has been, and my research, my like practical, empirical left brain and research is such that the cats need the meat, that it's really not very ethical or compassionate to be trying to feed them vegan. I have had vegan dogs before, and that worked really well because dogs are more omnivores. But the cats, I do feed her, non-vegan food, and she's done really well with it. And I've seen cats that were fed vegan or not fed at all, like fed like random scraps and like, oh yeah, they kill enough out in the jungle, and they did not look healthy to me. So I support her in my best way I know how. Would I buy a cat personally as a vegan? No, I wouldn't, because I don't want to have to buy animal food for them. But if y'all listen to the beginning of my life, I didn't buy her, I didn't adopt her. She was just here. Like, we were divinely like meant to connect with one another. And so in doing so, I feel it's my responsibility to care for her in the best way I know how. And that does involve feeding her non-vegan food, and that sits okay with me. When I check in with myself, it sits okay with me, because it's not like I got this animal who I knew I was gonna have to feed animals to. You know what I mean? It's like I'm doing like my vegan best here by like taking in this animal who, caring for her. Yeah, exactly. It's like, don't get a cat if you're not comfortable feeding them cat-specific diet, which ain't vegan, like they don't tolerate fruit well and different things. We got a question about what is Tantra, and I want to invite everyone who's here. Y'all can drop your questions in the chat at any time. Questions or comments related to what I'm talking about, or just related to Reiki in general. I mentioned Tantra. And Tantra, you know, you might have heard of that in the context of like tantric sex, or there's tantric practices in Tibetan Buddhism and in different spiritual traditions, different religious traditions. And the tradition of Buddhism I was in is Shambhala Buddhism. And it was kind of a patriarchal thing where there was like a guru dude at the top, and like he was you know, the reincarnation of like previous enlightened dudes and this whole thing. And he would give specific teachings, and people would give a vow to him that he was their only teacher. This is why that was never going to work for me. Like, I am way too spiritually eclectic. I love to work with everybody who's ascended and enlightened. And what these students would do, once there was a tantric vow that they would like pledge allegiance, basically. It was kind of like getting married, right? It's like you're saying, like, you're vowing to be with just this one person. This tantric vow was like you're vowing to just take this guru as your only spiritual teacher. And so once students would get to that level, they would receive specific trainings and sadhanas, they were called, like different practices to do. And a lot of the sadhanas, the practices, would be like a combination of chants that you would do out loud or to yourself silently, and evoking certain energies and different visualizations. And these advanced Tantra students it was Tantra because it was union, okay? So these Tantra students were visualizing specific Buddhist deities, for example, Ekajati, who I mentioned. So they're visualizing Ekajati, and the whole visualization practice was designed so that the Tantra student, was merging their consciousness with Ekajati, with the deity, becoming one with the deity. So that was the Tantra. So that's how it kind of relates to tantric sex, because if someone who's practicing tantric sex is, you know, they're becoming one with each other. The two people are engaging in the sexual performance, the sexual act, to feel that unity consciousness. So in the spiritual practice, you're feeling and embodying that unity consciousness with this deity. And I never did that. There were some practices, there were certain sadhanas where we were kind of doing that, but it wasn't with, I'm trying to think. We were doing, okay, I take that back. There were two that I was doing. It was the sadhana of Shambhala, which was a really beautiful one. I really liked that. And that one you were merging with like this yellow disc, this basic goodness, this light in your heart, and really connecting to your heart and merging with that consciousness and that frequency. And I loved that one. I absolutely loved it. And y'all might be familiar too. Like, there are different like meditations and visualizations that people offer where there's like a golden orb going into your heart. It was very similar. It was like the sun disk of Shambhala going in your heart. Really, really cool. And then there was this other sadhana, y'all. It was crazy. It's the sadhana of Mahamudra. And that one, Mahamudra, was this like wrathful, like crazy looking Tibetan Buddhist deity with like lots of eyes and arms and stuff. And that sadhana, I think it was practiced on new moon or full moon. I think new moon, can't remember. And we did that one, and that was an advanced Tantra thing that people who weren't Tantra, like myself, like more beginner folk, were able to do in a group setting led by someone who was authorized to do that practice. And so I was doing it, and it was evoking some really strong, powerful energies. And that practice and another chant we did specific to Ekajati is how I really connected with Ekajati specifically, because the sadhana of Mahamudra, you're evoking like Mahamudra, but also a bunch of different of these like wrathful, like really strong deities. And they're like wrathful, compassionate too. Like they're not just like, you know, violent, you know, like connecting with violent deities or something. They're wrathful, and that they will cut away what no longer serves, cutting away those negative thought forms, cutting away the subconscious programs and patterns, cutting away, anything that no longer serves. So they're good guys. That's the thing. Like, they're scary looking and like powerful. Like, when we're doing those sadhanas, I remember after, y'all, like, I would have to go like hike in the mountains and like couldn't sleep at night. I often could not sleep at night. That's what was happening to me. I remember, I was hiking like in the dark usually. Just to like integrate some of that energy, because y'all still, I was like one of the most sensitive people there, like, story of my freaking life. And yeah, I couldn't sleep after doing those sadhanas. I was like so activated by them. But I lived at a meditation center in 2017, Karmacholing in Vermont, and it was associated with the Shambhala Buddhist tradition. It was a retreat center, so people would come and do retreats there, meditation retreats, and people were also like me and doing like work exchange there. And I was doing work exchange to do some specific classes, meditation retreats that I needed to go back to the monastery and take temporary vows, because they had like all these prereqs you had to do. So I was working in the kitchen, living at this meditation center, and the meditation center is in Vermont, absolutely beautiful place, and the protector energy of that center was Ekajati. So I was really connecting with Ekajati and getting to know her when I was living there, because I was doing a lot of walks and hikes alone in nature. I was meditating there a lot, like during the practice hours, group practice hours, but often just like any time I had. I was sometimes meditating like 4 hours every morning, 5 hours every morning, and then like going and doing my kitchen shift at night. And then, walking throughout the land as much as possible, walking under the moonlight, circling the stupas, like these holy towers and stuff. So I was really getting to know that land and those specific energies. And while I don't consider myself a Shambhala Buddhist anymore at all, that it actually like feels very like not resonant to me. I do, it's don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Take what you like, take what resonates, leave the rest. And like Ekajati is one of those jewels that I've taken with me. And the discipline that I learned during my time at the monastery and at the meditation center. Definitely very good. How do I find all these retreats? Well, girl, I've been on this spiritual path a long time. I received the download when I was doing my yoga training in India that I needed to go check out a Buddhist monastery next. And I knew that I wanted to check out Gampo Abbey because I had read a lot of Pema Chodron's books. She's phenomenal. She's a Buddhist nun. She's like one of the few like legit Buddhist nuns, because they make it so hard in Buddhism for women to get fully ordained that there are very few nuns. But I knew I wanted to go to her monastery because I resonated with her vibe and also like that female connection, right? It's like I want a female spiritual teacher, because I went through like a long time on my spiritual journey where I was like, I don't want to be taught by dudes. Like, no. I want to be taught by ladies, some strong spiritual ladies, That was really important for my healing. So that's how I found Gampo Abbey, and I talked to the people at Gampo Abbey, and they were telling me all the prerequisites that were needed, and that like I could come and volunteer first just as a total beginner, and I did. But in order to come back and actually become a nun for 6 months temporarily and take temporary vows, I had to do these retreats, and they told me where I could do them, and most of them were being offered at Karmacholing, so that's what I chose to do. Yeah. But yeah, another Ekajati is so good though. Like she's one of my on-call guides, and also Ganesha is an on-call guide for me. And Ganesha I have been working with lately. Ganesha, I was introduced to Ganesha in a yoga class in um, 2012 in Scottsdale, Arizona. I used to practice at this place called Yoga Village. Really wonderful yoga studio there. They shut down since all of the virus stuff, unfortunately. They didn't make it. But yeah, one of the teachers there introduced us. She was deep. Like she was like introducing a bit of the philosophy and a bit of the gods and goddesses and stuff, and she introduced Ganesha, and like she taught us the Ganesha mantra, the Ganapati mantra. And that was a time in my life where I needed some serious obstacles removed, and that was my first introduction to Ganesha. And I later revisited Ganesha in 2016 when I was doing a lot of shadow work. And Ganesha is super helpful facilitator and support in shadow work, because shadow, if in the shadow it's in the dark, all those are unseen obstacles. So Ganesha kind of helps you as you shine the light of awareness on what is in the shadow, what is the subconscious patterns and thoughts and all of that. These obstacles start coming up. Ganesha can really help you like work with them and destroy them, remove them, heal them. So all of these things really work together. Yeah, I was doing a lot of Ganapati mantra in 2016, super helpful. Then that's the thing, it's like some of these tools, this is what's so cool about being on a spiritual path. Ganesha comes in at 2012. Then I'm not working with Ganesha at all for years. Comes back in 2016. Drops off, I'm not working with Ganesha again. Lately, in the last couple months, come in again. I'm like, all right. Actually, Ganesha showed up again when I did my Reiki training. Yeah, it's like, hey, what's up? Like, I've been missing you, girl. Like, I'm here if you need me. And I'm like, yeah, I freaking love you. And yeah, and Ganesha has definitely been present in a lot of my Reiki healings. And then lately I have been working with the mantra again in this song that I dance and practice yoga to in the morning. And yeah, Ganesha is super, super duper helpful for removing those obstacles, because we all need those, whether they are physical, right? So like Naga, my cat, like I was sharing earlier, she's all gunked up with physical obstacles in her little body, right? These lizards that need to pass and have caused all this bloating. So Ekajati Ganesha, they're gonna help the purge, and flush her on out, remove the obstacles in that physical way. So there's all these different layers and levels. If y'all have any more questions for friends who are coming in, you're welcome to drop them in the chat. We've been talking about animal Reiki and Ekajati and Tibetan Buddhism and Tantra and yeah, lots of cool things. Holy Fire, the Reiki lineage I'm a part of, I'm a professional member of, they offer a animal Reiki course. Lizards, I'll get back to that, but lizards they excrete a poison when they're eaten in their skin, like toads. So that's why they're not the best. Like if she ate a mouse, like she'd be fine, but lizards, they excrete toxins, which is why it's not okay for the cat, and those toxins will like bloat that belly up. Yeah. But yeah, so I will be taking an animal Reiki course in the future. I don't mean to diss and be like, I don't need that training, because like I want the training, and I'm sure they're teaching specific animal Reiki symbols in the training, which would be very cool. And the symbols are they're basically they're tools, they're visual representations that If any of y'all are familiar with the flower of life or like sacred geometry, whenever you learn a sacred geometry, you see it, maybe you read about it, watch videos, listen to people about it. And they're always encourage you to draw it. You'll come to understand the flower of life more if you draw it. It's kind of the same with a Reiki symbol. You get that symbol, you start drawing it, you start connecting with it. The teacher will tell you, this is what it's for, this is what it does, this is my experience with it. They'll also, in a class, you're given the symbol, you draw it, and then you get to practice working with the symbol and like feel the symbol too yourself, that when it's activated, and like feel the specific kind of energetic signature the symbol has. But when you start drawing it too, it's like different downloads come in. This is where you can start really establishing a personal relationship with the symbols too, because it's just like the symbols are also kind of like guides that you can work with. The teacher will have a personal relationship with the symbol. It's like, this is what in the manual the symbol is technically for, but like, this is what I use it for in my work. This is what the symbol has revealed itself in my practice to mean and do and accomplish and be intended for. And so it's really cool to like hear that from different people, to read about it in the manual. I learned Reiki 1 and 2 symbols from my first teacher, listen to her and like what she experienced, for me to experience those symbols and their particular energies in that first training, and then to be using them the next 6 months with clients and on myself, and learning more and more like, oh, this is what they do, and like using them in my yoga practice too, and being like, wow, okay, there's this function as well, and then there's this and this. And then I took Reiki 1 and 2 again with a different teacher, and hearing her perspective of what they do, and then hearing other classmates' perspectives of what they do. One lady shared something, it was so out there, and like, I don't think it resonated with anybody, but I was like, girl, yes, like what you just said, yes, that's exactly what that symbol looks like, yes. And it was funny, she was sharing that, like, she just had a breakthrough too, like during the training. And she is someone, she had taken Reiki 1 and 2 and master in very advanced levels. So it's really, really cool to take a Reiki class, even if you've already done it. And like I said, part of my intention too with this series is the fact that once I took my first Reiki training, it sparked such a deep interest in me that I was like scrambling and searching for content, Reiki content, people talking about Reiki, people sharing anything Reiki, like tell me more. Like that class just like, it gave me enough that I was so hooked, I was so interested, I was so intrigued, right? That I was like binge listening to my Reiki one of my teachers' podcasts. I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos, as many as I could, and really delving into that material, and finding that like, you would think there's a lot more content, Reiki content out there, but there's really not. And especially in my tradition too, because I was trying to look at like holy fire. I'm sorry I'm moving so much, but I'm excited, and like, I don't know, that's just my energy right now. So yeah, I was trying to find specific holy fire, Usui holy fire Reiki people who were talking about this. And I found some, like, I'm not saying like it's not out there, but there wasn't that much. So that's part of my intention in sharing all of this in 40 days of Reiki, is just to like, for someone out there who's like me and like wants to binge on Reiki content, like this will be there for you. And like, Because I know, like for some people, like their curiosity is just so deeply stoked. And like after I took Reiki 1 and 2 training, I was literally like counting down the months until I could do my master training. Because they make you wait 6 months, so you have 6 months to really integrate, work with the Reiki 1 symbols and 2 symbols on yourself, heal yourself, integrate the self-healing, start using Reiki 2 empowers you to practice Reiki on other people. Start practicing on other people, whether it's just family and friends, or you want to do it with professionally and like actually charge money for it, right? And start noticing and working with the symbols and the energy and the tools and techniques with other people. You're also a Usui Reiki master and you loved your training, right? It's such a healing experience. It's an absolute healing experience. And I mean, I really didn't understand that going into my Reiki 1 and 2, that like I would be healed so much. Not only would I like learn this cool tool and like have this energy, but like you heal, you have realizations and everything. You're meeting like community too, like soul fam, right? Reiki soul fam. Yeah, Ascension Foundation. I'm not going to share the live, double right now, but if you have a question or a comment, you're welcome to drop that in the chat. I've grown so much personally and now work with clients in person and online. Yes. Yeah. Liz Marlove, girl, like it's such a powerful transformational energy to work with, and absolutely beautiful, absolutely powerful. And the more I work with it, the more I love it. And yeah, I think it's such a blessing right now. I said this yesterday. I think the worst thing you can do is like take a Reiki class and forget about it. Like you know it, you have the energy, and then you just don't use it. Like use it, y'all. If you have it, use it. And if you're drawn to it, go take a class. Come take a class with me. I'm offering a class in May. Yeah, so I'm doing a class in May. It will be online. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to leave your home. If you're like in super quarantine lockdown, it's cool. The energy does not have to be transmitted in person. Like all the sessions I do now, they're online. I haven't done a single in-person session since I moved to Hawaii. It's all done online. I've taken a Reiki class online. It was extremely high quality. The energy and the healing was as strong as the in-person. And to me, it was like next level trippy cool, the fact that it was that strong, and really it conveys just how powerful the Reiki energy is, and how you don't have to be in person. You don't have to have like met the person either, like in real life. Like that is what's so amazing too. Like the woman I took it with, I had just been listening to her podcast and just super resonated with her vibe. And I was like, I know I have to take Reiki with this woman. And I'm so glad I did, because she's just the right teacher for me, because she really is this hybrid shamanic practitioner Reiki master teacher combo. And that's what I'm coming to be aware of, that I am as well. So Anna Chavaria, I'm not sure, I might have just butchered your name, 444 love it. Yeah, definitely. I have a wait list for my Reiki 1 and 2 course, and you can sign up for that wait list. The link to that is in my bio, and it'll be in the YouTube description box too. But yeah, it will be online in May, and I highly encourage you to take the class if y'all resonate with me as a teacher, as a Reiki energy person. I'm super excited to do that class, and it's such a healing experience. And Reiki is such a wonderful tool in these times, when so much healing is needed, where so much like self-care and support is needed. It can really be, at its most basic and fundamental, Reiki is an incredible tool for relaxation and stress reduction. And I think our world right now is not relaxed and it's way stressed out. So, taking all that spiritual stuff aside, which is, to me, is just like this massive bonus, at its very most basic, Reiki helps people relax and it helps people reduce stress. And it promotes healing of mind, body, soul, and spirit. Okay, so all kinds of mental conditions will resolve and improve. All sorts of different physical conditions may resolve and improve. Reiki may empower you, like I was saying. Not only is there an energy healing happening, but you might start receiving downloads like, I should really eat healthier, like I should eat more plant foods, or I should really start walking more, or I should do some yoga, or I should call that friend, or I need to, work on this relationship. So you start just having the space and the empowerment to apply it practically. Hey, eat vibrant, not violent. What a great handle. I love that. Annie Veganized, that's a great handle too. I love y'all. Blonde Beach Gypsy. Y'all are my people. Like, thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all coming so much. I love the Instagram live so much. I was trying to do the YouTube live. I was just not feeling the love the same as I feel when I do the Instagram live. And y'all are such sweethearts here. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all tuning in. As I said, please, if you're vibing this, sign up for the Reiki 1 and 2 course waitlist. The link to that is in my bio or in the YouTube description if you're watching this on YouTube. I'm also offering a free video mini course, The Best Kept Secrets of Radiant Health and Spiritual Awakening. And that is exclusive video content to my email list of Earth Angels only. And in that course, I'm teaching the flower of healing for Earth Angels. And if that sounds intriguing to you, definitely get in there. The Reiki 1 and 2 is a 2-day course. It's a quickie. It's like all day you do Reiki 1, next day all day you do Reiki 2. And it's done in a weekend. So it's a Saturday and it's a Sunday. And so after that, you will be empowered to do Reiki on yourself, to heal yourself, and to start practicing on friends and family. And, as you feel comfortable and drawn, if you feel comfortable and drawn to it, actually doing it professionally and giving it to other people in exchange for money, right? In a professional Reiki session, whether it's online or in person. So y'all, I gotta go because I gotta do some Reiki with a client actually. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back here tomorrow. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Much love to y'all. Have a beautiful Friday and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Namaste. Namaste. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on.